So I want to go next to Mark Poggendorf. And Mark, as you know, talks about and has guests that represent the hobby shop industry. And these are brick and mortar hobby shops. And Mark, thank you so much for doing this and welcome.
Am I unmuted?
There you go.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jim. It's always a pleasure coming on here and introducing people. And tonight I have a gentleman. His name is Wes, and he's with Just Trains down in Concord, California. So, Wes, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Well, Wes, first off, why don't you introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about your store and what you're all about here. Let's hear what you got going.
Well, Just Trains has been in Concord for about 40 plus years. We're one of the longest running trains shops in existence, Northeast Bay. I am the soon to be third owner of the store. Jim Anthony, who's the current owner, has decided that he's ready to retire. So I'm taking over the mantle and hope we can be here for another 40 years.
That's great.
I didn't even plan on being a train store owner. That was not I had never in my wheelhouse thought that I would be running a train store. I've been in the hobby since I was a little kid.
Subscriptions are you paying for?
Let's see, I was probably the fourth grade. I got my first Bachman starter set under the Christmas tree. And my dad was not paying attention and hooked up the cords wrong and blew the motor out, running it on the AC side, not the DC side. But taught me well. And I've been a customer at Just Trains going on 10 years. I started out as an in-scaler with Just Trains. And then as COVID hit and I lost my job, I used to joke with Jim and his wife, Rosita, says, I'll come to work for you guys. I'll come to work for you guys. And then when my job finally closed up and they said they were no longer needing my position, I happened to be in the shop buying some track, and Rosita says, come down and talk to us. And that was 2 years ago. So we are brick and mortar. We are working really hard to become an online store. That is the next step for us, is to be online. It's the just-trains.com is there. It's kind of shoppable. It's not the best, but we're working on it. We're totally taking stuff eBay now. I've got a good staff. I've incorporated some good people in there, and we're moving into the 21st century.
Well, that's great. What scales and what product lines do you offer in your store?
So we are everything from in scale all the way up to G scale. We do offer pretty much anything that you can get from Athearn, Walthers, Heartland Hobby. We carry Tamiya paints, True Colors, Evergreen Plastics, Plastistruck, all the glues, anything that you can think of in and all between. And we have a huge consignment section. That has been our bread and butter the last year. So that's going to be the focus of our eBay store, is all the really interesting consignment stuff that we are taking in. And I mean, box loads every week. We've got stuff coming in left, right, and central.
Well, that's great. Have you noticed that the economy's down and a lot of people are consigning their trains or selling them? We are.
I noticed that I'm taking in a lot more of the, hey, grandpa has passed away, or dad has downsized and doesn't have the room. And I'm really impressed at the younger generation. I'm seeing the shift of 65 plus and older kind of slowing down and thinning out. And then 35 or so and younger, they're eating this stuff up. They're not the modelers. They don't build. They don't know how to kit batch stuff. They don't want to scratch build anything. They don't want to build it. They are definitely ready to run. DCC is their blood. I mean, we've got a full layout on our store, 250 feet long, 2 mainline tracks, a small yard. And it's getting to the point now where I kind of have to remind myself, what switches do I need to toggle to go to DC? Because everybody's running DCC these days. They like that ready to rock and roll, put it on the track and run it. And the electronics, these kids are just out there. They're super detailing the inside of their diesel locomotives with light clusters inside the locomotives where they're lighting the dash. And I'm like, Blows my mind. I'm a scenery guy. I'll build trees all day long. You need stuff painted. You need stuff sculpted. I'm good. Don't point me in the direction of lights, electricity. No, yeah. I'll probably burn something down.
Oh, oh yeah. Now that you're getting into this thing pretty heavy, what are some of the hurdles you guys have noticed, either getting product, different kind of things like that you're trying to overcome with a brick and mortar business? Because as you know, we do have a number of hurdles. What are you experiencing?
For me, it is just the constant like cork. What cork? I can't get cork. And I mean, guys are coming in saying, I heard you can't get cork. I got a couple boxes. I will give you literally pennies off of full price. Just please bring me, as long as it's good. Cork has been really hard to get. DCC, like electronics and stuff, that's been a really, and anything plastic injected, all these companies like Grantline, Detail Associates, a lot of folks are still trying to do that. But I heard some of the folks talking earlier about 3D printing. We have a phenomenal 3D printer guy, and it's the CAD. Taking it, he designs it. It has saved our butt. I can't tell you how many times people coming in looking for a specific detail part, and they have one. I have one pack left, and I need it to be able to do my SP, and they did a specific headlight, rear and front. I have one. I have 8 of these locomotives I just got. I want to detail them. He was able to print them out for us. So that's the saving grace. 3D printing, resin printing is going to save the hobby.
Yeah, it's becoming big for us too. We got a couple of guys, same thing. What are you guys doing to like community outreach, get people in your store, different events, stuff like that? Do you guys do anything like that?
We do. Coming up on October 1st, our annual open house. So what we do is we encourage every local modeler club to come down, set up their modular layouts, and just get them all set up. We take over the whole parking lot, and I go to all my neighbors and say, okay, here's your guys' extension cord. Plug me into your outlet, and then we just take over the parking lot, and we set baggers comes. We've got several different O scales, G scale, CMRS, which is the local club in Crockett. They come down and they set up. I believe Golden State's got a table this year. The list is as long as my arms. We've even got a gentleman who's trying to get it put together. It's a Briggs & Stratton 2-stroke motor inside of a locomotive put together, and he's going to put his track down, and he's getting everything. So we're crossing our fingers. We'll have a little attraction for some of the kiddos to ride this year.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I've been down to that thing in the past, and it's really a packed day. So it's a great way to do it.
And we work hand in hand with CMRS, Carquinez Model Railroaders Society over in Crockett. I'm a member. So for us, it was just kind of a natural. Dave Tadiosin, the former president, he worked really hard with Jim, and we work hand in hand. Getting out there, just me showing up at these clubs, walking in saying, hey guys, here's my card, the Junior League Association. When I first started working at Just Trains, we had a few youngsters that didn't have the space at home to run a layout. So I'm like, hey, this summer, Wednesday mornings, your parents are going to school or going to work, drop them off, bring them here, let's run. And they would come run in the morning for 3 or 4 hours. And we were teaching them how to put couplers on their cars, how to swap out their wheels for metal wheels, how to clean track, that was our biggest thing. And now CMRS has taken that, and they have it 4 times a year, and they have 10 kids at a time coming in and learning the hobby. And we're talking, these are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids coming in and learning the hobby. So that's the outreach there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more children and younger people getting into this hobby. For a while, you heard, oh, it's dying hobby, everybody's getting old. But now all of a sudden, like you said, we're seeing this rejuvenation of the hobby, bunch of young people. But you're right, they don't have the scratch building skills. They don't care. They want to take it out of the box and put it on the layout. So it's
all about the bells and whistles. All about the bells and whistles.
Yep. Now, do you guys offer clinics or stuff like that in your store also? Or
So in the past, no. Joan, the previous owner, Jim, he took it and he was kind of rolling with it, but COVID kind of hit right in the middle of his tenure. So we haven't had an opportunity, but yes, we want to start offering classes on scenery most of the time. And I really wish I had some pictures to show you all of the layout, which I'll take some pictures. They'll be posted to our website. But we want to start doing the plaster casting and how to do dry brushing techniques, how to use the resin casting and how to sculpt that and paint it. So we have people asking us all the time because we're redoing our layout. We've ripped out about a third of our layout and we've laid new track. We're building a whole new section to it. Yeah, so the folks that are seeing that, they are really like, how did you do that? Where, and it's just all stuff right over there on the spinners from Woodland Scenics. And they're like, oh, I want to do. So yes, the need is there. And it's something that we're going to start picking up this winter. It's on our list.
well, that's great. Jim, do you have any questions for Wes?
Well, Wes, I'll tell you, I'm so impressed to hear what you're saying, because it's owners like you and hobby shops like you that are really trying to build the hobby. I understand price is a factor in everything that we buy these days, but without the hobby shop industry out there doing the kind of outreach and the kind of searching for ways to increase our hobby, it is a downhill slope. And I admire you so much for what you're doing for our hobby. It sounds fantastic.
I have a lot of folks call me a glutton for punishment. What the heck are you thinking? And I mean, I look at some really other good stores like Arnie's down in Southern California, and I look at a couple of the other ones back east that or Midwest that we deal with. And, and they're, we're, they say, oh, we're, our store is only a couple hundred square feet, but we're a warehouse and most of our business is online. We're about 3,000 square feet of retail space. So we have, we try to do as best as we can to do work. We work well with Athern, Horizon Hobbies. We carry a lot of their product. We carry, anything you can think of from Walthers, we get from Walthers. We do 15% off MSRP for locomotives straight off the bat to get people into the store. And we've got a full service repair shop. I've got two really talented repair guys that are really, knocking out of the park. They're really learning. We have a good rapport with, it's called Engine House Electric Trains in Gridley. Scott Douglas, he's our vintage O-scale repair guy. One of my guys is going up and training with him so he can start learning how to repair, tear apart, because every day we get carcasses of O-scale stuff in, and it's just beat to a point. But the only thing it's good for is parts, because nobody's making those. So we pull those in and we try to just salvage as much as we can, because a lot of folks will come in and they'll say in the O-scale industry, I don't care how much it costs to repair it. I'm paying for a memory. I'm paying for sentimentality. This was my dad's. He got it Christmas in 1955. I want this one to run, and I don't care that I could buy another one for $75. I'm willing to spend $250 for you to put a new E-unit in it, convert the smoke unit from pellets to a reservoir so you can actually use the drops in it. So yeah, that's kind of where the industry, it's about customer service every day. Just smile. You got to put a smile on your face, and you're going to get those grumpy customers, but the smile and then just being happy and positive goes a long way. And it's the newbies. When you walk in the store, yeah, I'm going to spend 4 hours talking to a newbie how to do it. And he may walk out of the store with $50 worth of stuff, or he may walk out of the store with $3,000 worth of stuff. So it's just spending the time with those people, and it's just putting it out there, and that's where it's at. It's customer. And so it's funny. I did a TikTok page during COVID just to keep myself busy. And I did some stupid stuff, and I, haha. And then I started working for Just Trains, and I was just recording 30-second little blurbs. And now those little 30-second blurbs have 5, 700 views. I've got 500 followers and 8,000 likes, and they could care less about the stupid stuff that my teenage daughter's doing. They're like, hey, Wes, when are you going to post the new what's running on the track this week? So it's the social media is, because these kids, the younger generation, they want to see it before they can, and they see it. They want to see it run. So if I can take a brand new locomotive out of the box, put it on the track and make a joke about it, it runs great. Or, ooh, we need to work on this one a bit. They love that. They like that tangibility that, that a lot of you can't get, you just can't get, because they're seeing it and then they're coming to the store and they're touching it. And that's the good part. That's getting them off of the social media page and into the store.
Wes, what do you see the brass market doing?
So that's a good question. I am a sucker for brass. I love brass. I don't know how to paint it. The last one I spent, I got a 3-truck Shay, had some custom work done on it. I spent more for it to be painted than I paid for it. But right now, I want to say brass is it's dying. Folks they don't DCC well unless you remotor it. And then sometimes you have to put new wheels underneath them, get them upgraded to nickel silver. Most folks that are buying them, they're show queens or shelf queens. They don't run them, but there's a few out there that are converting them to DCC, and but it's kind of stagnant now. The O scale stuff, though, that I was at O Scale West a couple weeks ago, about a month or so ago, and we had a pretty decent collection, and we sold a lot of locomotives and stuff not running. People didn't care. They were picking it up because in 2-rail O, they're hungry. They want it. Even some of the we even had some 3-rail brass stuff that I had never even seen that before. And we had a couple locomotives and they got snapped right up. But HO, in-scale brass is, it's going to the hybrid stuff now. Who is it? Broadway Limited, Paragon 4 doing their brass hybrids. They're great locomotives. I have Broadway Limited's Big Boy that they just released. And I mean, the detail parts that you get out of plastic, it's almost as superior as brass. But I love my brass. I'll never get rid of it. I'm going to keep running it. I have to, I'm spending $150, $350 buying a junked one just to get parts to repair it. I will be doing that because I do love my brass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're noticing the same thing with the brass.
Anybody else have any questions for Wes or for Mark?
Oh, sounds great.
I agree with you 1,000% about the brass. I love my brass also.
Yep. I have a Blue Goose, and it's shorted 3 different times, and I've had to send it out 3 different times to get her back and running because she's just a beautiful locomotive. It's all of my Shays. I have a Climax 2-truck Shay, 3-truck Shay. I even have a 4-truck Shay coming. I was able to acquire. There's just certain things you can't get in plastic or people don't make, and you're only going to get them in brass. That's going to be brass's saving grace, is the fact that it's the unusual and the weird, or they only modeled them in brass and nobody's picked it up to run with it in a modern. That's going to be brass's only saving grace.
Well, I'm a B&O fan, and I have 7 B&O Q4s. 5 West Sides and 2.
My 2 favorite is I have an AC4 and I have an original, MDD1 cab forward, SP cab forward. I have those in brass and coveted. They will, without traction tires, they'll still pull 100 cars up a 2% grade and not even bat an eyelash. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Well, I'm going to stop bothering you.
No bother. No bother.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Wes. Well, thank you. Why don't you tell everybody again one more time where you're at, who you are, and what your hours are?
Just Trains. We are in Concord, California. Our phone number is 925-685-6566. Our email address is info@just-trains.com. We're in Concord, California. We're there Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sunday, noon to 4. We're closed on Mondays. And we do pre-orders for everybody. You need it, you want it, we pre-order, we do all of that stuff. Yeah, myself or any of my staff members will be able to take care of y'all.
Great. Well, we appreciate having you on, Wes. Really, thank you. Really enjoyed
My
it.
pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
And Wes, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. And best of luck on your new business.
I thank you all.
Mark,
Yeah, I'll
thank
talk to you soon,
so
Wes.
much. Mark, thank you so much for bringing Wes and introducing him to us.
No
because
problem.
He's exactly what the hobby industry needs, in my opinion. And to hear him talk it's really refreshing. So thank you so much.
No problem.
That's
what
why
we're
Jim
trying to do.
hired me. He hired me for my personality, not my good looks.
No, that's great.
All right, gentlemen, take care.
All right, you too. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.